Hi everyone, and today I'm going to be speaking about how to test for gluten intolerance, also known as gluten sensitivity. So I do a lot of gluten intolerance testing with my clients because it's such a common thing that people react to. I mean, I personally am gluten intolerant. I can't tolerate it. I recently tried having some gluten and I just got a stomach pain. So with me, when I was ill with chronic fatigue syndrome, I had a positive celiac blood test for gluten. So this is another way you can get tested to determine whether you're celiac or if you have gluten sensitivity. So with me, I had the positive blood test for celiac and I immediately removed all wheat from my diet. And so about 6 weeks later, they did the endoscopy and it came back as negative. But I think that could be because I'd removed wheat, which is sort of the bigger source of gluten, that perhaps the lining of my gut has started healing, so it wasn't showing up the damage from celiac disease, which is an autoimmune condition where your immune cells attack your gut. So for me, I never got diagnosed as celiac despite having a positive blood test, but I am technically gluten sensitive. So that's one way to see if you're having a reaction to it. So you can just go to your local GP if you're in the UK and ask for that test. I'm sure in other countries they offer it as well. You may have to pay a fee if you're private. But the test that I do with my clients, it is a finger prick blood test, which tests for 282 commonly consumed foods and herbs, including wheat, gluten and cow's milk, which are the biggest ones that people react to. So this is just a simple finger prick blood test. You put your blood sample on the test swab and you post it back to the laboratory, and then you get results back within 3 working days, so it's so quick. So what are actually the symptoms of gluten sensitivity or intolerance, which are basically the same thing? So these can include symptoms like after eating, perhaps not immediately, perhaps an hour or two later, you feel a bit bloated, you get gas, possibly diarrhea, loose stools. You may feel just really tired after eating something with gluten in. You may get brain fog as well. These are things that I used to get when I used to eat gluten. And, bloating, IBS type symptoms, just, wind, constipation, things like that. So, and these are all things that can be improved by avoiding gluten if you are reacting to it, if you are gluten intolerant, gluten sensitive. So, and the way to determine that is to do a test. So this is sort of the quickest way to really get answers to what are causing your symptoms, and then you can see exactly what you're reacting to, and what foods to avoid. And then I work with my clients to advise them on replacement foods, so they're, make sure they're getting enough nutrients, they're not missing anything out. But so with the gluten, it's such a common thing because nowadays they have genetically modified gluten, so it produces bigger crops, and often our bodies can't digest it because it's not what we're used to, and it's very similar the protein in gluten is a sort of similar shape to some pathogens, which is why sometimes your immune system can react to it, thinking it might be, a virus or some sort of infection. And this can cause all the gut issues as well. Yeah, so that's what I would say is the most effective way of testing for gluten. I've seen other tests out there, like hair testing for foods, which, your hair is a tissue, so, it's representative of what's going on in the cells of your body. But, the gluten, it would tend to be sort of in your gut or in your bloodstream, so it's not really an accurate representation of what's going on. That's why I think it's better to do blood testing, because if you're reacting to gluten, if you have leaky gut, the molecules of gluten are going to fall into your bloodstream where your immune system is reacting to them. So this is really where you need to be testing. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share today, really, just talking about how, is the best way to test for gluten sensitivity. And yeah, it's something I do a lot with my clients, because it's so common, just people not being able to digest it. Some people actually find in Europe, where they haven't modified the gluten so much, and the wheat crops are more, more ancient, that they can actually tolerate it better. But for some reason in the UK, there seems to be an issue with the gluten and how it's farmed and produced. So yeah, I hope you found that helpful and interesting. And I had a client not so long ago who did the gluten intolerance test, and she did react to gluten foods, including wheat, oats, barley, and she avoided these foods and replaced them with gluten-free options, which are quite easy to get hold of now in supermarkets. There's so much choice of gluten-free options. And within a week she was actually feeling more energy and less brain fog, less bloating. So it can be quite a fast improvement, if that is something you're reacting to. And then I've had people that they don't react to gluten, they can tolerate it, they can keep eating bread, but perhaps they might react to something else, like cow's milk, if they have lactose intolerance. So that's why it's good to do this food intolerance testing, to really get to the root cause of what's causing your issues. So, if that's something you're interested in, get in touch with me and I can give you more information. I offer free 30-minute discovery calls where you can have a personal one-on-one chat with me, and I can give you advice on what I think may be causing your issues and what the best route forward would be for you. And yeah, I hope you found that helpful. And if you have any questions, comment below. I'd love to hear from you. If you tried any gluten tolerance testing and did it give you the answers you needed and make a difference for you. So thanks for listening. I'll be back again next week with more helpful tips for fatigue and tiredness. And if you like this video, hit like that, or hit subscribe. And this is so you get my future updates. And I look forward to speaking to you soon. So take care wherever you are in the world. Have a lovely day or evening. And bye for now.